No, Lays, I don't want to do you a flavor. I really don't. After you came out with those disgusting fucking chips last year, what was it? Bacon mac and cheese. Horrible. It just tasted like American cheese. No taste of bacon came through. Wasabi ginger, didn't try it. I'm already not on the same page with wasabi as it is. And what was the other one? Oh, yeah, that Spawn from Hell, the cappuccino Lays. Who was smoking crack at the Frito-Lay's offices that thought it would be a good idea to make a coffee-flavored potato chip? And you know what set me off? One of my friends actually liked that. She was like, oh, no, it has a mellow flavor, like someone just sprinkled coffee over it. I've never hit a woman. But seriously, stop. Like, what makes you think you can play God and somehow harness the flavor of a New York Reuben sandwich in a crispy potato chip? Or what's the other one? Biscuits and gravy this year? Dude, no. I'm not again, Lays. Stop it. I will not do you a fucking flavor. Okay, let's hit the docket. Now, I hate Kickstarter. That's not news. Me and Kickstarter, we had beef for a while. But this new site I wanted to talk about, they're doing an interesting twist on crowdfunding. This is something that I think more people should take a cue from, especially Kickstarter. It's called Fig, and they crowdfund video games. But the cool thing is they let the player share the profit. They let whoever puts in the money get a return on it. This new crowdfunding site promises to help. This is from Forbes. It promises to help designers make better video games and give players a way to make investments, not just donation. It launched last Tuesday. And the difference, like I said before, between Kickstarter and Indiegogo, it only hosts one campaign every month. So it highlights one game chosen by the company. And then the participating game studios, they're going to work with the site to make the fundraiser happen. So that's the cool thing, too. So you don't just donate your money and then you hear from them once a month via email saying everything's cool. Meanwhile, their office is on fire and the FBI is raiding everything. No. It's like a step-by-step process of what's going on. You're actually you're invested in it. You're incorporated. Like, you're part of the fold. The CEO of this company, he was actually the previous CEO at Double Fine, who were pretty much responsible for Kickstarter blowing up. I think they were the ones that first crowdfunding campaign they did was the one that really got Kickstarter out in the ether. What's this dude's name? Justin Bailey. Yeah, he was at Double Fine. Let's see. And he said it was born out of sharing information between indie designers who wanted to fund their own projects. He has a quote here. We had a bunch of developers coming to... I cannot read. Honestly, how did I go to college? We had a bunch of developers coming to us asking if they should consider crowdfunding. And then when they decided to do it, we helped structure and then give them feedback for their campaigns. We finally figured out we've got this amazing ecosystem that exists. We should formalize it. It's based in San Francisco, and they were funded by some venture capital company. We have more money than you, Inc. What's it? Spark Capital or some shit? Yeah, so it just launched, and I really want to see where this goes because I had a previous rant earlier saying one of my biggest problems with Kickstarter is you donate the money and... yeah, sure, you may get the game and a t-shirt or something like that, but they profit off that. You get no return for the thing that you helped fund, that you helped. And how Fig works is they still do have that normal donation model, too. So if you do just want to donate, say like $5 or something, and, you want to be hands-off, you can do that. Or if you do want to invest, you have that option as well, which is a very big thing. Now, I wonder if we're going to see Kickstarter or Indiegogo taking cues from this. I mean, I don't think Kickstarter's going to have to, honestly, because they get money either way. They just they take a little bit off the top of every transaction that happens on Kickstarter. So I don't know if they'll have to, but no, I think I might change my tune on that because I don't know. Kickstarter's like kind of riding a grace period right now. It has kind of the novelty of it being a new thing. And, certain things, there have been certain success stories, but it's in this grace period now where I don't know if it can last too much because you just hear an overwhelming amount of negative stories coming out of it. Stories where people get the money, then just cut and run, or projects never being funded, or the debacle that's going on with Mighty Number 9 and Red Ash, and it's like starting to taint the name because we're reaching that teetering point where the negative is outweighing the positive. I mean, even E3, in my last rant, how Sony, they brought out the lead for Shenmue 3 and they announced his Kickstarter campaign and told you to go donate to it. A motherfucking video game publisher brought out a game developer on the biggest stage of the gaming year and told you to go donate to his game so it can get made. The publisher, the people with the big pockets who can make the game happen. And Kickstarter has kind of been bastardized now. People are using it as a template, saying, "Hey, look, people want our game." They're using it as an indicator of demand, which is kind of fucked up when you're dealing with other people's money. And yeah, so we're seeing that tune changing on them, and I don't know how long that can last. And especially when you have other options too, like Indiegogo. So we may start to see a switch, depending on how Fig goes. You know, it's still early. It's only a week old. The CEO hasn't come out with a story of him banging Filipino ladyboys yet. You know, the news hasn't come out yet, but it's promising. I like where it's going. Or at the very least, I like people are trying to change the crowdfunding model because it is a good idea with its own problems, but it's in its infancy, and we're only going to see that grow. It's only going to get better. And this company has some good people behind it. It has a lot of veterans. Tim Schafer, he founded Double Fine. He designed Grim Fandango, Psychonauts, and Fergus Urquhart. I'm sorry, that's a badass name, Fergus. He's the CEO of Obsidian. He designed Fallout 2, Baldur's Gate. And Brian Fargo, I don't know this dude. He's the CEO of In Exile Entertainment. He designed Wasteland and The Bard's Tale. Never heard of it, but yeah, they'll all sit on the advisory board and they participate in the pitch process, and they participate in mentoring the developers using the platform. Oh, and they'll also use it to crowdfund upcoming games from their own studios. They have another quote here. Fergus, Tim, and I have all experienced the many challenges of bringing our games to market and nurturing great talent along the way. Fargo said they're proud to be creating an ecosystem that better supports developers and their fans in the quest to bring their passion projects to life. And we believe Fig will become the best option to get games funded in the future. And see, that's just the people behind it. That's why right now I have certain confidence in it. Because like I said, Double Fine was kind of the one that kind of made Kickstarter, they got their name out there. They were the ones that made it a household name. And now that they're behind this, you could kind of see the same thing happening. And especially with the wave of negativity that's going on there now. So yeah, the first campaign is Outer Wilds. It's an open world exploration game. It won some award, the Independent Games Festival. Now its goal is $125,000. Oh, and if it hits it, the creator, Alex Buchem, they'll use the money to upgrade the game's artwork, polish the game's systems, and add more content to it. And I like there isn't a ton of stretch goals like Kickstarter had, where it would reach its goal, but then they would just add in a whole nother mess of crap where they need another $500,000, which is just set to further piss people off. But I like where this is going, man. Let's see what gets churned out here. Hopefully something good comes out of it. I don't know yet. It's still too early to tell, but whatever. Next up. And I would just like to take this moment to applaud China for not giving a fuck. They just released, this company's about to release this console called the Ouya. It's called the Ouya. Not to be confused with Ouya, the failed Android console. But it's a hybrid of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. But the cool thing is, it looks like a PS4, but on the right-hand side, it looks like the top grill of an Xbox One. And the controller just looks like an Xbox One gamepad. And apparently, it runs on Android, but it's just a blatant knockoff. I love it. They had a crowdfunding campaign. It was $15,000 is the goal. And the console, it's expected to cost about like $70. But I like they're not even trying to distinguish themselves at all. See, that's the type of hubris that I enjoy, that I think needs to get a little bit more into this gaming landscape. Recently, China just ended its 15-year ban on consoles, and they wasted no time getting this thing out there. Oh, and they have the best stock photo advertisements from it. It's just these three dudes playing on the couch, but this one guy kind of looks like he's going to murder everyone in the background almost. Oh, dude. Oh, I have to post this picture up somewhere. Just Google Ouya and just find this picture. But I wonder what this can do. Well, I wonder if I can get my hands on this, because I really want to make a video or something. At least just want to feel it. It looks like it might break as soon as I look at it, though. Sorry, I had to bring that one up. Okay, next up. Do you guys remember this thing last year? Twitch Plays Pokemon. It was when Twitch users, they went together in the chat and they tried to beat the original Pokemon. They put in the commands in the stream of like one step at a time, boss after boss, to beat the game. It took them 16 days, but they actually did it, which was cool. After that, they went on to beat every single Pokemon game. But the cool thing is now, the new Twitch Plays thing is they're trying to beat Dark Souls. Like who? Like who? All right. For those of you that don't know, Dark Souls is a very, very, very difficult third person. I almost said third world. Yeah, well, Dark Souls is basically like a third world country. You just go and get your head chopped off by a skeleton. But yeah, it's a third person action game that's extremely difficult. Not to mention extremely difficult to be beaten by hundreds and hundreds of people putting in commands into a browser window. Let me see how far they got. Okay, so they're 5 days in, and it's just been terrible. They made it past the character creation screen. They broke all their weapons, and they landed one hit on the game's first boss, the Asylum Demon. Only one. Let's see. But yeah, from what I hear and the videos I'm seeing, it's just they're just banging into everything. It looks like chaos, and that's kind of how I look when I try to play Dark Souls 2 anyway. I just look like I'm having an epileptic seizure on my game controller. But with more and more people, that's the apocalypse. I mean, yeah. The thing with Pokemon, why that worked is it's a turn-based game. There's nothing reactionary. Nothing requires your immediate attention. With Dark Souls, you need to build up those reflexes. Like you need to have like a good high of Mountain Dew going on. You need the good sugar rush. Your fingers need to be perfectly greasy from the Doritos cheese dust. You got to get in that zone, and you have to be one with the game to actually succeed with Dark Souls. Not really a turn-based thing like they're doing with Twitch. I mean, more power to you. If you want to sit there and try to beat this game, go ahead. I mean, I don't even know how entertaining it's going to be after a while, just watching that stream of people run into the wall over and over again. But hey, that just speaks to the solidarity and bullheadedness of gamers, that we will continue to persevere no matter what it looks like. I mean, we're still asking for Half-Life 3 if we ever see it. But you know, and I like that this is happening. I don't think you should ask, hey, why are you trying to beat Dark Souls through Twitch? But why not? No, you don't have to watch. No one's holding a gun to your head. But, imagine if they do it, though. Imagine if it happens. If it does, that will go down in the gaming history books, right next to Sega dropping out of making consoles and the hot coffee mod for GTA San Andreas. It'll be right next to that. I swear, it'll be that big, because that's how hard Dark Souls is. The Souls games, I don't know if they're really for me. I tried. I dipped my toe in the water. Dark Souls 2, it was really difficult. I mean, I could see myself continuing, but that's just a time sink. You know, you have to really get good. You have to practice. Like I'm saying time sink. Meanwhile, I'm in this, like, The Witcher 3 just has me in a trance right now, and I'm talking about time sink. Like, I'll never finish The Witcher. Well, I will, but I'll never see everything in The Witcher. With Dark Souls, actually, you know what? I want to try Bloodborne, because I hear they streamlined a lot of that stuff. It's still extremely difficult. I hear they give you a lot more tools to get better quickly, because I'm sorry. I'm not 12 anymore. I can't be in my basement all day just playing video games all summer. It can't happen. I have a job and bills. It's weird. It sucks. Don't grow up. It's really terrible. It really is. All right, moving on. Ubisoft announced the delay for Rainbow Six Siege. That was supposed to come out in October. It only got pushed back to December 1st, so it's a little over a month. Let me see what they posted here. Ubisoft said it decided to push the game a few months back as a result of fan feedback. And the quote is, whether it's been through playtests in our studios, the closed alpha, or recent hands-on demos at events like E3 or Gamescom, player feedback has been essential to the development of Rainbow Six Siege. Getting the game in people's hands and listening to what they have to say helps us understand how we can improve their experience. And we'd like to thank everyone who's taking part in the process so far. So taking that in mind, they decided to push it back a few months. So what they're saying is it's going to allow them to fine-tune it with the weapons, the gadgets, and make a lot of refinements. The quote goes on. This wasn't an easy decision, but based on the feedback we've received and based on our own internal test, we felt that there are adjustments and improvements we can make, including improving the co-op experience across all game modes, weapon and gadget balancing, as well as menu and interface navigation. We're taking a little more time to make these changes, and we think it's the right call. Whoa, did I just read a quote without making any mistakes? Look at me. So they still do have that closed beta coming up September 24th, and I really want to get my hands on that. It got pushed back. That did bum me out because that was one of the games I really was looking forward to this holiday season. Not a lot were catching my eye. I'm not too hot on Battlefront. The main reason why Rainbow Six Siege caught my eye was because it is a departure. Yeah, it is. It still is a shooter, but I like how they roll the dice, tactically speaking. Because the cool thing is, you're in Siege, you're sieging a home, so you're in the role of a SWAT team. And in the original E3 demo that they had, of course, you're protecting a pretty blonde white lady. And you were basically like carrying her around like a rag doll as she screamed. It was pretty messed up. But they changed it. The next E3, I think you were protecting a dude. And how it worked, from what I gather from the trailer, is you had two teams. One team that was protecting the hostage and trying to protect the house, and the other team that was actually doing the siege. So you're doing tactical stuff with your team over how you're going to defend, and on the other end they're doing tactics on how they're going to break into the house, which seemed really cool because they had people placing IEDs on walls, and it was awesome. Just watch that trailer, please. Do yourself a favor. But it was a big departure from your standard tactical shooter, and of course, and I do see where it can get. I do see where that can need some refinement because it's not like it's been done before. And especially if the online is fucked up on that, come on, you can't have that. So yeah, take the time, polish it. Usually delays are a good thing. The only thing I don't like about delays is when they know there's no way they're gonna hit that release date, but yet they still announce it anyway. Batman Arkham Knight. But yeah, I don't like that. But other than that, if it's for polish, if it's to give me a good product, I'm all for it, because 2015 especially, I'm sick of getting a game and there's already like 6 patches on day one. I want to go back to the days where you buy a game, you plop it in, and it works. I don't have to sit there for an hour downloading patch after patch and it's still not working properly. We'll see how that turns out. My fingers are crossed. Next up, we got Microsoft throwing shade at Sony. We got major shade being thrown today. According to Xbox executive Kudo Tsunoda, the Xbox One has, quote, a lot more going on than the PlayStation 4 and other competing platforms. In a new interview, he said the Xbox One has features like backwards compatibility, as well as cross-play, cross-buy, and all the streaming stuff with the PC, and he says it gives Xbox One the upper hand. He has a quote, for a long time we've had PC gamers and console gamers who weren't really able to play together. He was telling this to Game Industry International. This article's from GameSpot. Good old GameSpot. You fired Jeff Gerstmann. Now you both work for the same company. Suck it. What did he say here? That's why crossplay is still such a powerful idea. You should be able to play what you love and play together, regardless of what device you're playing on. It's about connecting people. Yada yada yada. It's a really unique value. You see, I shouldn't have gave myself a pat on the back for getting through those last quotes without a mistake, because then I'm just gonna fuck up the next ones. Like, I gotta stop with the hubris. It's all about karma, dude. It's a really unique value that only we can offer, he added. You still need a very gamer-focused values, but there's lots of things you can do with our technology. We've really got a lot more going on, and we're doing things that can't be done on any other console. Wow, yeah. I mean, it's to be expected. He's going to want to tout his own shit, especially with them getting trounced by the PS4. And he is right. They do have backwards compatibility. They do have that capability with Windows that Sony just doesn't have. They don't have their own operating system that is new. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, backwards compatibility, old game's old. Old game's old. It's time for new games. That's why I bought PS4. That's why I bought an Xbox One. I'm ready to play new shit. No one's making me throw out my PS3 or my Xbox 360. I still always have that. In terms of the streaming stuff, yeah, we'll see how that works first with Windows 10. We'll see. Let's wait on that a little bit. But yeah, Microsoft is really going all out on this. They slashed the price. They're just like, please buy our system, please. What else do we have to do? Like, I'm pretty sure if you ask nicely enough, Major Nelson will come to your house and make you a Belgian waffle if you can just buy an Xbox One. I do like that they're trying, because this is something I didn't like about. What I didn't like about 360 Microsoft, and I didn't really like about the beginning of PlayStation 3 Sony either, is you were seeing a lot of that arrogance from these companies. Back in the day with 360, they just did whatever they felt like. For instance, if a game came out on Sony first, or if it came out on Nintendo first, it just couldn't be released on Microsoft. So you had everyone developing for the 360 console. They were developing for the lowest common denominator and porting that out to Sony and every other console receiving an inferior version because it was made natively for the Xbox, and no one else had a choice really, because most of the install base had a 360. So most people were going to buy that game on a 360 because it came out a year earlier than PS3 did, and it was also cheaper than a PS3 was. Remember the Sony dude was saying you're going to have to get like a second job to afford the console? Yikes. Yeah, that's probably not the best thing to say. Yeah, and I was still a sucker. Yeah, I bought the $600 PS3. I know. I did it. Whatever. It's in my past. I've grown a lot since then. Yeah, so you were seeing that arrogance where they didn't really have to make moves. They didn't really have to make it competitive. But now, hopefully they do light a fire under Sony so we can see more parity. Because what we want is, we want these publishers, we want these console manufacturers to be trying to get our dollar, not just, hey, give us your money, we're going to give you whatever we feel like. We want them to feel like they're trying to make gaming better for us, and that's what competition does. That's why I'm kind of okay with this. And I just like when people talk their shit. I like that. Good on you, Microsoft. I mean, I still don't see Microsoft beating Sony this holiday season, because I still feel like PS4 just has most of the momentum. Because honestly, I still think there's a large amount of people out there that still thinks Xbox One can't play used games and all that bad stuff, because they fucked up so badly 2 E3s ago, and Sony just came out and shitted all over them. They're still reeling from that, so I feel like the momentum is still going to carry Sony through this holiday season. I mean, look, the Xbox One has been cheaper than PS4 for months now, but PS4 is still selling 2 to 1 than Xbox. It's not making a dent. So they're gonna have to do a little bit more, and they're just gonna have to wait for that word of mouth to kind of die down. And honestly, I don't know if they can close that gap. It's a huge gap between the PS4 and imagine if they do start to close the gap. Sony can then drop their price. They still haven't done it. They're still selling more at a higher price than the Xbox One, and they're not doing as big of as bundles as Microsoft is. So probably once Microsoft lights a fire on them, that's when you're going to see them drop a price, and they'll probably start selling more, just as much more than Xbox One as they are now. But yeah, let's see where it goes. And Nintendo, the NX, your new project. Come on, let's bring it this time, okay? The Wii U, you tried, okay? You tried, Nintendo. All right. I can't fault you for that. You gave it your best. I'm gonna put that up on the fridge so I can look at it every day. But come on, bring back that old Nintendo. The people that sparked my imagination, guys. I want those dudes back. But yeah, that's all the news I got for you guys right now. I'm gonna be back soon. Unfortunately, you're gonna be hearing my voice, or not. You could just turn me off. It's honestly up to you. No one's making you do anything. But I'm just doing what I can to keep my fellow gamer informed. If you want to stay up to date with me, I'm on Twitter at Peter Paris. Check us out at Kid vs. Robot. We got more episodes coming for you. Keep tuning in and eat a dick. Peace.